Thomas. Thomas, how do you look at Danny's development? I know we've talked about this maybe in spring ball, or in fall camp, but to have a couple of sacks, interception, kind of some splash plays. How have you seen him develop over his time?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is there's just a standard I think we hold in the defense as a whole, not just me or our room or the D line, but that somebody comes in for whoever, like there's no drop off. And with Danny, there's been none of that. And I think Danny has shown that he's very capable of playing up to that level and even going above that level and making some phenomenal plays, especially his one against Michigan State last week with that snag that he had. I was amped for him, really excited, and I just think in terms of his development and how he's progressed throughout the time he's been here, I couldn't be prouder of him. I think he's really bought into and the coaches' philosophy and teaching and what they got to say, and just continuing to get better. Even from this week with Michigan State, from what happened with that, even knowing that there's things that can be done that can be better next week. So I think he's a team player. I think he believes in what the coaches are teaching, and he believes in the culture, and I think that just shows through his play.
You guys talk about the standard all the time, but then you also lose a guy like Boye.
Mm-hmm.
How much of an emphasis was keeping that, just given the fact that Boye was the player that he was?
Yeah, I really think there's just a focus from Boye was in the room with us, and he left, and I think it was just all right. Everyone has to come up now. The floor has to rise, and it continues to rise. Whether Boye would be here for this year or he wouldn't be here for this year, the floor would have to continue to rise. And I think that's something we talk about every single day. Is that yesterday isn't good enough anymore, and so you get a guy like Boye who's freaky athletic, and you lose him from the room. I don't think there was a thought in our head that we have to scramble to try and figure out something to do, or what are we going to do? I think it was just, next man up. Everybody's got to, up their level of play and, continue to develop what you need to get good at, and, find things that will help you get there.
Thomas, the depth that you have on the line and how deep the rotation is going this season, are you seeing ways where that's paying off, especially late in games? Do you feel fresher? Do you think you sense the group is fresher down the stretch?
Yeah. Just talking for me personally, with being able to rotate with Danny and have him come in and take a series or two, it means you don't really notice it, I think, during that series, but when you get towards the end of the game and you haven't taken however many those reps would be, you have your legs to you. You have a little more. You have a little more energy. But the way we practice and the way we do things around here, there's never a thought that I'm going to have to need that. But just to have that depth with a guy like Danny behind you, and even the rest of the D line, guys like KB or Trill with him rotating, and Gage, and Ja and Jalen, just being able to have those guys in the rotation, it makes it better. There's no else way to put it. It's just you got a guy come in and the standard doesn't go down and his level of play doesn't go down, and you get to the end of the game and guys haven't taken a million reps. So yeah.
Tom, could you take us through your forced fumble? What happened there? What you saw?
Yeah, so I was just going through the progression, saw a quarterback pull it, chased him down. When I went to tackle him, he had his back to me, and I knew he had the ball right in his hand. So when I went to wrap, I make sure I got a punch through there, and ball came out. And when I got up, I was trying to figure out what was going on, because I knew the ball had come out, but I was like, who's got the ball right now? Because I saw the big pile with Justin Wally and the guy from Michigan State, so I was trying to figure out what was going on. But it was just kind of happens quick, almost like in a flash when you get back to the sideline. Although we were in the game, it's like a slow motion almost. But when you think about it, it's a brief one of those, just one play, and turns the tide of the game in certain aspects.
Thomas, you see that so much now, where guys are going in and taking a full punch at if the guy's holding the ball, taking the ball. How much does that technique practice, and is it more so now than before? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, since I've been here back in 2018, and I'm sure in 2017 it was done as well. But yeah, we've practiced that. I mean, we've practiced punch tackling, stripping the ball. We do those all at the end of practice, and that's an emphasis because we talk about the ball being the program. So on defense, it's takeaways for us. When you see the ball, you get guys coming in second man strip when you got the runner wrapped up, or even if you're pass rushing, going for the quarterback, certain techniques for stripping the ball, strip sack, all that stuff. Like we do those all throughout the week. We've done those all throughout fall camp. We've done those all throughout the time I've been here. And so I think that that play for me, and then even for Justin Wally when he's getting recovering the fumble or making an interception, there's drills and techniques we've done since I've been here, and those just are a testament to Coach Fleck and what he has for how the program is run, and we value the ball.
Given your position change, how much did you feel like when did you feel like you got to a point where you weren't thinking and were just able to fully play fast?
Yeah, I think I think 2021, right at the end of fall camp, is when that clicked for me. Because then 2020, when I made that change, it was the year it was. And then 2021, I finally got that full year of a spring ball with, to go through all that stuff, feel it out through 2021, continue through the summer, have another, big chunk of time through fall camp to get adjusted and use the technique and learn the playbook for that spot. And then I think being with Boye throughout that time helped expedite that process. And I think 2021, right when the season started, it just felt for me, it was like, okay, I don't have to go through a series of progressions in my mind about what if this happens or this or that or whatever. I think it was just go play ball.
Thomas, as someone who plays for him, from your perspective, what makes Joe Rossi such a good coach?
Details. I think that's one of the big things he brings to the table in turn. Well, one of the big things. There's a lot of things he brings to the table, but there's a way things are executed, and there's a certain technique for that, and there's a way to do it. And even if you're a guy like me not doing something like that, he's not afraid to rip you. So I think that's one of the things he holds you to the standard. No matter who you are, doesn't matter if it's week 1. Week 5, if it's spring ball, if you're in the summer doing, whatever you're doing, there's a way it's done, and he's very detailed about that. I think the next thing you talk about is just the scheme he has for making sure people are where they have to be to fit things. He's called the guru for a reason. He's very, very smart, one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I just think he ties in the details and that together, and that gives him that title.
What's an example of how minute the details get?
I can give you examples for me specifically in terms of ways you push to move, ways we take on blocks, hand placement for taking on a block, even an amount of how far you can push to move, or shuffle, I guess is the term, that you would go far to just even squeeze, and then where your eyes are at for certain progressions, like even throughout the play, your eyes are here, then they're here, then they're looking at this. What are you looking at? And that's just me thinking about what I'm doing, and let alone what I think about a guy like Mariano was looking at, or even a guy who's playing DB and what his progression technique are. There's just details to everything, and he emphasizes just the teaching of those and then the execution of those.
More for Thomas. What kind of challenge does an offense like Purdue present for you guys?
They're a really good offense. We're anticipating that. We're anticipating for all 3 quarterbacks. Whoever plays. They have the ability to throw, and they're very dynamic, and we're expecting that they're going to be firing on all cylinders. So we're ready for anything.
How important will pass rush be?
Pass rush will be important this week. I think getting to the quarterback and disrupting him, and hassling him all game will help out our secondary, especially in some quick game, and then obviously when they're setting up for some bigger throws. But I think getting to the quarterback will be very important and just disrupting the rhythm of the offense.
All right, thanks, Thomas.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you guys.